Things have been long turbulent at Las Palmas. The 2016-17 season bore witness to a brilliant La Liga start under former boss Quique Setién, which petered out despite their desire to stick to good, aesthetically pleasing and technical football. When their coach decided to up sticks for Real Betis's renewed ambitious project in the summer, it was always going to be a challenge to replace him. Setién identified with the club, its style and the stereotypical Gran Canaria player. Young manager Roberto De Zerbi was outlined as their new target, having plied his trade in the lower leagues in Italy, and goalkeeper Leandro Ciccizola was brought in on a free from Spezia to indicate that De Zerbi would follow. However, De Zerbi did not arrive, and Las Palmas eventually appointed MANOLO MARQUEZ from within. MARQUEZ had been a great success with the club's B team and earned them a recent promotion, but was a far cry from the profile that Setién had offered. MANOLO MARQUEZ was only to last in the hot seat until mid-September, having seen himself flung into a high-pressure scenario at a top-flight job perhaps a little bit too soon. Aiming for tightening things up at the back and being a little bit more pragmatic, it was too much of a contrast to the free-flowing and gung-ho style championed by Setién. Jonathan Cailleri, Jonathan Vieira and Alberto Aquilani had a positive impact in the early weeks of the season, but the loss of Roque Mesa to Swansea City left the team without a rudder to sit deep in midfield and dictate play. Elegant centre-back Mauricio Lemos was trialled in the deepest midfield pivot role, but lacked the awareness and drive to look comfortable, with young midfielder Fabian given his La Liga debut due to the need for direction and the existence of injury problems. But that experiment ended exactly there, at one appearance. Jonathan Vieira's driving runs were the only thing to direct the side. MARQUEZ talked a lot about a lack of confidence and a lack of belief. Though he acknowledged that the players had worked hard, he thought it best to step down for the good of the club. Paco AYESTARAN was next in line. After enduring a tough spell in charge of a free-falling Valencia, AYESTARAN's luck followed him to Gran Canaria. 7 losses in 9 games made up the board's mind and he was sacked. Las Palmas had now gone through 2 coaches in just the first 3 months of the campaign. Before his dismissal, AYESTARAN managed to secure a new league record of 13 consecutive La Liga defeats across his ill-fated Las Palmas and Valencia spells. His only win with the club came in a 4-1 cup victory against Deportivo La Coruña. After a promising first half in his debut against Barcelona, things began to fall apart very quickly. Jonathan Cailleri was still utilised up front, with Jonathan Vieira asked to use his technical ability to link midfield and attack. Mauricio Lemos would intermittently step into midfield, with Vicente Gomez returning from injury and getting a run in the team in central midfield alongside Javi Castellano. But still, the team lacked any real direction or identity. Loic Remy continued to be a useful goal-scoring presence from the bench, eventually earning him a place in the starting 11, with Raúl Lizoain replacing Leandro Ciccizola as the first-choice goalkeeper. There were cases of rotation, but largely a reliance on one creative outlet and a general laxness at the back would cost AYESTARAN dearly. Next up, Paco Jemez, who arrives in Gran Canaria with a reputation, having spent some successful years with Rayo Vallecano in the Spanish top flight, where he found himself in a constant battle against relegation on a shoestring budget. The Spaniard is certainly no stranger to high-pressure situations. His team at Rayo were aggressive, played on the front foot and punched above their weight, despite a huge turnover of players each summer. Jemez is very demanding and wants total commitment from his players, with any dissidents or bad influences sure to be rooted out. His tactical plans have also been dealt something of a blow, with promising young midfielder Sergi Samper ruled out for the rest of the 2017-18 campaign after a devastating injury. But the premise remains the same: to work hard as a group, to press and try and show an aggressive edge to their game, and to move the ball at pace in quick triangles. Rather than utilising the 4-3-3 of both MARQUEZ and AYESTARAN, Jemez has brought in a 4-2-3-1, with one central midfielder, given great licence to get up in support of the lone striker Jonathan Cailleri. At times, this midfielder will also press with real purpose, aiding his forward and becoming almost a front two. Las Palmas tried to press intensely and as a collective when they sense that there is a chance for the opposition defender to be forced into kicking long. The collective hard work that goes into such an approach is something that both MARQUEZ and AYESTARAN had struggled to maintain. Mauricio Lemos will continue to be a key as something of a quarterback for Las Palmas. He was thought to potentially be the solution to losing Roque Mesa during the summer, but instead he looked clunky and lacked awareness to operate neatly in the defensive midfield role. When deployed at centre-back, however, he can showcase his tremendous passing range. It will not be unlikely to see Lemos hit the space in behind Jonathan Calleri, encouraging his striker to use his pace and get in behind, nor to try and seek out a winger or wide fullbacks with an ambitious crossfield pass. As Las Palmas look to be more positive and adventurous in possession, his ability to help them miss a man out is incredibly useful. Las Palmas are often not in a rush in possession, with their goalkeeper asked to do a lot with his feet. Javi Castellano could drop in as the deepest midfielder to offer for the ball, but if Lemos can see the pitch in its entirety, chances are that he has an eye for picking out a better option. Against Valencia in the Copa del Rey, where Jemez's side suffered a heavy 4-0 loss at the Mestalla and gave themselves a chance to focus on just La Liga survival, playing plenty of triangles to encourage third-man runs was key to their approach play. The likes of Dani Castellano and Michel could look to overlap as fullbacks, but similarly were able to come inside and underlap. So long as there were a couple of central midfield options to hit, playing around them wasn't an issue. With the likes of Alan Halilovic and Jairo as wide men at Mestalla, they were capable of playing some neat wall passes and looking to bounce off one another at pace. If Jemez's side can work a man over by taking a risk, that is exactly what they'll do. Energy, intensity and taking risks in the right areas are key at Las Palmas. The club have taken a fiery gamble in Jemez, but he has their best chance of shaking the lackadaisical stereotype of Gran Canaria and stirring them from a dangerous slumber. People often ask us where we get our stats for these videos. A great place to start is the uFootball app. The app offers a fairly comprehensive statistical coverage of teams and players in-game and post-match, so there's a link in the description of this video if you'd like to download it. Thanks for watching.